Hey, good evening everyone. My name is Dan and I am looking at the Florida weather forecast for Friday, Saturday and Sunday. It is currently 7:45 p.m. on Thursday the 20th of June. Tomorrow is the summer solstice, so yeah, that's going to be cool. There's going to be a time lapse coming along, and yeah, days are going to start getting shorter, which I will not complain about being in Florida. I know my northern counterparts will disagree with me there, but yeah. Anyway, let's get into the video here. So I'm currently looking at the hurricane tracker. Don't worry, there's no hurricanes right now, luckily, but there is an area of low pressure off to the east of Florida here. Invest 92L. This is current wind speeds top out at 30 miles an hour. It's nothing serious, nothing to really worry about. I just figured I would mention it. It's going to affect the weather, particularly on the east coast over the next couple of days. So yeah, it's definitely noteworthy. Out here, there is Tropical Storm Alberto, which is no longer a tropical storm actually. It's off out here in the middle of Mexico. It did bring a bunch of rain to Texas and Louisiana, as well as Mexico itself. So here's what the radar looks like right now, as of 7:45 p.m. There's a few spots of rain off of the east coast, which are gradually moving inland, although I believe these are going to fizzle out. We can double check the radar in a second, the future radar. There's a little storm over between Port St. Lucie and Boca Raton, Palm Beach, I believe this is. Yep, your Palm Beach and Jupiter, that general region. There's a small shower down there. There's a bunch of rain in the Panhandle as well, just north of Pensacola. It doesn't look like it's particularly severe. I don't see much lightning involved in here. There's a few spots off of the coast there near Panama City, but yeah, nothing really going on. Bit of rain along Daytona and the Kennedy Space Center there. It's nothing serious. Let's look at the radar forecast. So I'll go to Rain and Thunder here. Let's look at the HRRR model. So yeah, there's not going to be too much going on tonight. There is going to be some rain moving ashore thanks to the low pressure area, Invest 92L here. It's going to move ashore by Daytona Beach, and some rain is going to develop around the Kennedy Space Center and move towards Orlando throughout the night. So I'm going to pause the radar at 6 a.m. here. As you can see, it's actually going to be pretty intense early in the morning in the Orlando metro region and around the Kennedy Space Center area. There's going to be some rain around St. Augustine and Jacksonville, that general metro region as well. Crescent City, you could have some rain in the morning too. This is not particularly heavy, although this cell down here by the Kennedy Space Center, that does look pretty intense, so there could be a bunch of thunder and lightning starting your morning off. So yeah, just be aware of that on your morning commute out here. You could be getting hammered by rain. Everywhere else there's nothing really going on. It's all dry. So really it's just a northeast quadrant of Florida that's going to be seeing some rain first thing in the morning. Let's continue the forecast here. So the HRRR model does show all this gradually moving. Is it going to play? There we go. Okay, so yeah, this gradually moves westward as the morning goes on, and as you see, South Georgia gets a bit of rain as well, and yeah, later on in the day, the Tampa Bay region does see some storms pop up as well. As you see, we're now in the evening. I'm going to pause it around 9 p.m. here because, as you can see, we do have a bunch of storms develop later on in the evening. So yeah, north of Tampa Bay, in the suburbs out of the north and exurbs, so you know, Lutz, Land O'Lakes, Newport Richey area, there could be potentially some rain. Areas around Lakeland as well could have a bit of rain, and the central spine of Florida here, south of Kissimmee, could have a few cells. Southwest Florida too, inland from Naples, you could have some cells as well popping up. This is mostly Everglades. I don't really think anyone lives out here. Elsewhere, just south of Lake City, there could be a really strong cell that develops in the evening. HRRR seems pretty convinced of that. That is very white in the middle. Damn. Yeah, that's a big storm. And then a few other cells here or there. As always, because this is Florida, a little thunderstorm can pop up anywhere because of the high humidity. So, yeah, just always bear that in mind. Let's carry this on into the evening and night. As you can see here, these storms tend to move off to the west and out to sea. So, yeah, not much is going to happen there. In the early hours, there could be some rain in Jacksonville and off the coast of Jacksonville as well. Let's pause this at 6 a.m. So yeah, not much going on overnight. There is going to be some rain in Palm Beach and Boca Raton and northern areas of the South Florida metroplex. So beware of that. Early on Saturday morning, there could be some rain. Not that it really matters. I doubt people are doing much on Saturday mornings, but the risk is there. Otherwise, it's fine. It's just some storms off of the coast of Brunswick in South Georgia. Let's carry this on into the middle of the day on Saturday. As you can see, the rain does pick up in South Florida, and yeah, it's mostly out to sea, but yeah, 1 p.m. It looks like this ends at 1 p.m. So as of 1 p.m. Saturday, there's a lot going on in the southern tip of Florida. Just off the coast of South Florida, there is a whole bunch of storms. These will likely move ashore because the wind is moving very slowly to the northeast here. Naples could have some cells as well. This also shows a storm popping up over the Pinellas County area. That's Pinellas Park, I believe. I live in the Tampa Bay area, so like I know this area better than others. So I'm going to be a bit more specific when talking about that region. There's a few little cells around Port St. Lucie and Sebastian, nothing really crazy. These will likely develop even more as the day goes on because this is just 1 p.m. Let's move to the NAM model to look a little further into the future. The NAM model doesn't really show much at all. That's interesting. Just a little cell around Palm Beach and the Everglades. But otherwise, there's more going on up here. Around Madison to the west of Lake City, there could be stuff going on in the Panhandle. But yeah, that doesn't look severe yet. Let's carry this on. I do believe rain chances pick up significantly according to the NAM model in the evening. Yeah, along the western coast of Florida, there's crazy stuff going on. This actually looks almost like a frontal boundary. I'll be curious to see if this actually materializes because this looks very intense. This is almost like a frontal system. It's not a frontal system, it's obviously the tropical system, but it resembles that of a front going all the way up into Georgia there. We'll see if that pans out. I don't know how good the NAM model is. HRRR is very well respected. The NAM model I don't know so much about. Here's the 10-day rain accumulation outlook. So it's looking a lot higher than it was the last time I did this, which was on Monday. It's mostly 2 to 3 inches across most of the state. Little isolated pockets of 4 inches are possible, and this is likely due to the little tropical wave that's going to be coming in from the east coast. In North Florida, it's going to be a bit lower, although there are pockets where it's going to be 3 inches. And of course, this is going to be very patchy in reality, because these thunderstorms, they pop up in very specific areas. They'll move a bit, but like there's going to be areas which will get a lot more rain than this, and there'll be areas that get nothing. That's typically how it works here because of the way these thunderstorms develop. Alright, so let's look at the temperature forecast here. So this is 7 a.m. Friday morning. As you see, it's going to be in the mid to upper 70s across the vast portion of the state. Northern parts of Florida are going to see lower 70s, so slightly cooler up here. Although that flips when we go to 3 p.m. As you can see, it's mid to upper 90s. These are very high temperatures up here in the northern parts of Florida. Central Florida is going to be a bit cooler. Temperatures likely suppressed by those thunderstorms that we were talking about earlier. South Florida is around about 90. So for reference, for my European counterparts, 90 degrees Fahrenheit is about 32 degrees Celsius. So yeah, 80 is about 26, and yeah, when we're hitting mid 90s, that's like 34, 35 degrees Celsius. Moving on to Saturday at 7 a.m. It remains warm in the Panhandle here. So it's largely, low to mid 70s across pretty much the entire state. Slightly warmer on the southern half of the east coast there, closer to 80 there. And then 3 p.m. Again, temperatures are suppressed underneath the thunderstorm areas, so the Jacksonville region and parts of like Orlando and Central Florida, they're going to be a bit cooler. But once again, the Panhandle is very hot. It's going to be approaching 100 here. If I hop into humidity, as you can see, it is drier, so that is helpful, of course, but it's still going to feel really hot. There's no way around that. The rest of Florida is very humid, which is, same old story. And I didn't mention humidity for Friday, but it is also low across this area. So high temperatures, but lower humidity. And for reference, orange is low humidity and like blue is high humidity. Relative humidity we're talking here. Let's go to 7 a.m. Sunday morning. That is still humidity. Very high, obviously, because it's early morning. But yeah, so it's generally mid to upper 70s everywhere. basically across the whole state. There's nothing specific to talk about. There's going to be a bit of an eastern breeze in South Florida, so it's going to be around 80 there in the morning. Moving on to 3 p.m., there's going to be a lot of thunderstorm activity Sunday, so the temperatures will be suppressed because of that, which is going to be helpful. I think most of us would agree. It's going to keep those temperatures a bit lower. Apart from North Florida, yeah, it's going to be hitting triple digits in the inland regions. Now, on the coast, it's a bit cooler, but yeah, inland it's going to feel very hot. Even with those low humidity levels, it's going to still feel hot. In the shade, it's going to be okay, of course. That's the main difference. As you can see, though, across the actual peninsula itself, the humidity is above 70% everywhere. So, you know, those temperatures are suppressed, but it's going to feel really, really oppressive out there. It's going to feel like walking into a blanket. That's the best way to describe this. Monday morning, let's finish it off at Monday morning. So, yeah, it's going to be mid to upper 70s everywhere. It's actually going to be very warm in North Florida overnight. So I suggest the humidity is picking up. There was a bit of a breeze coming off the Gulf, so that would explain it. Let's see. Yeah, the dew points are high up here now, so that low humidity is not going to be a thing anymore starting next week. So, yeah, you know, just bear that in mind. Let's go into the middle of the day. Yeah, this is 4 p.m. Monday. Lower temperatures, so it's probably more thunderstorm activity now. But, yeah, humid. Yeah, and more storms in the rest of Florida, reducing temperature. Drought conditions are easing across north-central parts of Florida. However, they are increasing more on the Panhandle. I'm not too concerned about this in the long run because it is going to start raining up there. So, yeah, as you see, as I move this forward, the drought conditions do seem to ease off quite considerably, actually. So, that's definitely a good. Here is the weather warning map. There is a rip current risk all along the east coast of Florida, and a little bit in the far northwest as well, in the Panhandle around Pensacola. That's the same, pretty much the same as it was last time, actually. So, yeah. The Gulf Coast is fine, there's nothing going on out here. Alright guys, that will wrap up this video. I hope you enjoy this format of video. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you soon. Bye bye.